Wholeness and welcome. This is Josh Dippold from integratingpresence.com. And today it's another Open Wisdom Wednesday. And so let me put the description in here for those who do not see it. And well, I'm having all kinds of trouble. I had to reboot the computer right before I started. And well, anyway, I'll just wait a few more moments for folks to get here. And today I thought I'd talk about transitions, but I'll read the description first. If there's anybody here, let me know, and that way I can find out if I'm actually broadcasting or not. So it does say excellent. So, and I saw one person here earlier. Anyway, if nobody's here, that's okay. I'm joining you all from Denmark today. That's where I've moved, and I'll be here the plan is for around 3 months. Been here maybe a couple weeks, and yes, I'm going to be doing another brief talk, just kind of how the differences I've noticed so far since I'm here, and then how those can be applied to meditation practice. But today, and I thought I'd be outside instead of just in the house or some dwelling where it could be anywhere, right? So if anybody hasn't joined the mutual office hours for wisdom here that I call Open Wisdom Wednesdays, then I ask unplanned, general, and specific questions for your wisdom, and you ask me. In the meantime, we share openly, likely from whatever's going on currently, to get at our wisdom. And so transitions are kind of been a notorious challenge for me in the past. Um, they say the biggest transitions are in life are the marriage, divorce, death, birth, moving, and then a new job or leaving a job, right? These four are these what, six things that I named. So I want to ask you guys, how do you deal with these huge changes in life, these huge transitions, whether it be a birth, a death, a new job, or losing a job, um, marriage, divorce, these type of things. I know um, I've never done anything like this before. I mean, it's probably pretty commonplace for some people, right? Where I actually do decent around deaths, um, at funerals and whatnot. Some people, they're just devastated by them. Um, but I never done anything like this. Completely put all my stuff in the storage, and went overseas to live with a new girlfriend that I've never met in real life before, even though we've been, online for years and years. So, and surprisingly enough, it was an easier transition than a lot of other times in my life, especially around jobs. And that's the biggest one, right? For me, anyway, work and whatnot in the past. So, what have you learned from these huge transitions in life, or what helps ease transitions? What can we derive from them as far as wisdom goes? I mean, of course, the wisdom of death or going to a funeral is that, yes, we realize that we too one day must die. We haven't gone beyond death yet. Um, Birth, it's just I haven't witnessed a live birth, but really soon after my niece and nephew were born, I got to go in there, and it's just like the whole entire energy in the room is just off the charts. I mean, it's just like this obvious magical moment. If it's that for me for the male, I can't even imagine what it's like for the female, right? Giving birth. But it's just, yeah, the palpable energy in the room and this kind of aliveness and freshness and newness. And then the transitions around work life, jobs or career, how that can, well, on one end, it can be completely devastating if someone's let go and out of the blue almost, and kind of can uproot, cause upheaval in lives. But on the other end, can have offered an amazing position where it's beyond our wildest dreams and couldn't even imagine it and our highest goals and whatnot. And then all of a sudden things can come into play and meet all kinds of new people, gain all kinds of insights and wisdom and all these opportunities. So it runs the gamut there. Now, the relationship transitions, or Julie says, hi, Julie. Julie says, yes, I was blindsided and fired without cause, right? So these are, yeah, they're challenges, but the wisdom in some of the downsides is, what if this was actually the golden question? What if this was actually the greatest opportunity I've ever been given? Because I know sometimes in my life, living situations when I've stagnated there, I was like, I got too comfortable, and I could have just stayed there for a long time. So I getting kicked out, was it last year in the middle of winter, when I had 2 trips booked, but I still managed to find another place to live within a short amount of time. But I'm actually grateful in hindsight for doing that, because the new owners coming in, I was not in alignment with them. Let's just put it like that. So it's actually an opportunity, but it's easier to see that in hindsight, right? Okay, so where was I though? The relationships thing. So that's where I don't have as much experience here, as far as serious, long-term committed relationships. And so that's where I turn to you guys about transitioning. Well, it's interesting because the transition is really usually longer in those, right? Because we kind of get into relationships and we don't really know if it's going to be a long-term, serious, committed relationship. Or maybe some people do. Maybe some people just fall in love at first sight and they just know right out of the gates that's who they're going to be with. I'm not sure about this, how people see this, or what wisdom is to be gained in this and those. Um, what other transitions I make? It doesn't have to be these huge life changes either. It can just be, taking on new habits, just having new friends and stuff, transitioning into just a regular friendship or acquaintanceship. Could be new routines, new terrain. Maybe you're transitioning into just going on vacation and coming back from vacation. Um, yeah. Well, here in Denmark, I forget, the sun sets really slowly compared to North America, where I'm used to it at, and it takes a little bit, but it's coming within the next 45 minutes of setting. But I'm going to be here for another probably 5-6 minutes or so. I just want to show you guys. There's this. I can't show you the fire pit. Is this humongous fire pit? Well, maybe I can, but yeah, I probably won't. There's this old tree here, and I don't know. He's tried this finger method here. These little things hanging from it is actually like strings that they tie, so children can swing on there, or hang from the tree. And it's sorry to do this kind of base program thing. It's about 39-40 degrees here, so it's once the sun goes down, it'll cool down a little bit, but it's probably about the same. Um, Does anybody have any questions for me, like around transitions or anything else that is going on in their lives where they wish they had a little more wisdom, or maybe some wisdom they learned? It doesn't necessarily have to be transitions either. Um, is curious how everybody's been doing. If anyone does New Year's resolutions, how those have been going. Mhm. Guys are quiet. That's cool. This is more of a meditative platform, though, so we can sit in contemplation somewhat. I'm doing a course now, editing a course for Insight Timer Live. More than likely, I know they've changed their platform rules on this. I won't go into details because I don't really know what's allowed to be talked about or not, but that's in the works for me to put that out. I think sooner rather than later, but we'll see. It's a little bit more time. If you'll excuse me, my nose. Liz says, I came in late, but my intention is to try to be more present. Yes, my site integrating presence, right? So there's a lot of wisdom to be gained in presence too. And Liz, this is a common one. I mean, I actually used to get annoyed by folks like you, right? And I've heard people say that, in Germany, which is the country below me here, that if you're not 5 minutes early, you're late. So it's so dependent on things like if and then we get into these traps like oh, that person's always late, or that person's always on time, that person's early. Used to be early to things, right? Um, so the big thing I've heard around wisdom for people that are late is that, sometimes we just know we're going to be late and we just have to be okay with it, right? And that doesn't mean we still don't set goals and try to do that, but realistically, I mean, some people will call ahead of time and just, I can't do it right now. I'm just running late, and I won't go into the kind of thing in traditional dating things like, well, I've had some experience where gals have kept me waiting, right? So I won't go into my speculation for why that is or if that's common or not. But yeah, Liz says, yeah, that's really cool that you're in Denmark. One of the things I'm transitioning to is moving from the United States to Spain, a really big change, which I'm looking forward to. Well, I hope that goes well, Liz. I know in my jaded past, when I hear people doing these things like, traveling all over, I would just kind of either get jealous or you'd be like, "Oh, come on, you're just talking about that." But here I find myself doing the same thing, right? I've been going on and on about this, and then I'm even going to do a live about. Hopefully, I'll be doing how to work some of these noticings that I've noticed into an actual meditation practice, right? To take us deeper in meditation. But bit nervous, of course. Yeah, I mean, the nice thing here, the one thing that really makes me nervous is not speaking the language. So fortunately, most everybody speaks English, in addition to Danish here. So uh, permanently, I don't know. I moved with my girlfriend, and so we are talking different plans. But I know I have to leave the country for 3 months after I've been here for 3 months until I make more permanent plans. So I'll probably be going. I'm looking right now to go on retreat, either in the UK or maybe in Asia. I'd really like to do a retreat at least for a month of that, if not the whole entire time. But we'll see. It's been haven't done a proper retreat at a proper retreat place for like 2 years because of all the lockdowns. So I'm just way overdue for that. Um, and I've been in Denmark now for about let's see, the 19th, 20th. So that's when I of last month. So yep. Well, guys, I've got one more minute here, or a little bit over a minute. Um, would anybody like to share any wisdom, or we can just, yeah, small talk, small chat too, because there's always, in just about every instance of life, there's wisdom to be gleaned and gained and applied. How we take our knowledge of what we've learned and then how we actually apply it in our everyday life, that's what I consider wisdom, because otherwise it's just theoretical, right, or book knowledge. And yeah, we can stack up a bunch of books and knowledge we can rattle off, but when we actually can use that to move through our lives, to overcome challenges, to gain more and more freedom from suffering, but we can't, or it doesn't make sense, at least in my experience, to have too much wisdom because it needs to be balanced with the heart qualities as well. Because wisdom can get kind of cold and sharp if it's not balanced with these beautiful heart qualities like kindness and compassion, and yeah, loving kindness, these type of things. Liz says, "Yep, thank you. Very cool. It is." And yes, if you get to Spain and you join another live or whatever, reach out. Let me know how it goes. So, all right, guys, it's been 15 minutes. Thanks so much for joining, even with the late start and a little bit of technical difficulties. I guess now I can turn around and show you the fire for those who are on Insight Timer. It's an interesting, huge fireplace, right? That most people in the States, it's like this. What did they call it? Enneagram? This thing that Gurdjieff used, and yeah, they can even use an enneagram shape. Well, actually, I think that's more of a pentagon, like the Pentagon thing. So it's not really an enneagram. There's another one though that's close by that is, but yep. So if you're interested more about Denmark and then what I've noticed and how to apply that to the meditation practice, look at my other lives and feel free to donate. If anybody's up in the early morning in the States, I think it's like 1 in the morning. You look at the time with the next Q&A session with Wendy Nash from Australia. It'll be like 8 in the morning Central European time where I'm at. All right. See y'all later, hopefully. Whenever you join, maybe throw another Wisdom Wednesday in there. But May you all be blessed with all the optimal energy and consciousness wherever you are. And then, just for prosperity's sake, Lisa says, Liz, I sent you a friend request. Would love to hear more about your move. Thanks for sharing, Lisa. All right, bye, guys.